previous journey, we ventured into the legacy of the Burning Crusade, uncovering the mountain legends that echoed through Outland. But the Collector's bounty does not end there. As the chill of Northrend calls, today we turn our gaze to the frozen north, to the era of wrath of the Lich King. A time when the Scourge marched under Arthur's command, and the fiercest of mounts awaited the boldest of heroes. From the vrykul strongholds of Utgarde to the icy spires of Icecrown Citadel and the mysteries of Ulduar and the Eye of Eternity, each dungeon and raid holds a story and a treasure for those daring enough to face them. Utgarde Pinnacle. Utgarde Pinnacle is located at the top of the Utgarde Keep and is where the more powerful and supreme of the vrykul live. The keep is located on the shores of the lake Coldros in the howling fjord of Northrend. It was built into the fjord this region was named for, so it's got a lake at its feet and a waterfall tumbling down in the cliffs on either side. Utgarde is inhabited by the vrykul, led by King Imiron, bent on proving their strength to the Lich King, who will raise the most worthy of their warriors to serve him beyond the grave. The massive structure of stone, blocks with flying buttresses, has giant skulls carved into the cliffs below the keep. The height of the keep is like the social ladder for the vrykul. The higher on the food chain one is, the higher up in the keep they live. The keep and Wormskull village below it are the home of the Dragonflayer clan, which leads the vrykul. Utgarde Pinnacle. History. It is said that in ancient times the vrykul inhabited the land, founding a vast and prosperous civilization. Then, one day, without warning or explanation, the vrykul vanished, leaving behind only deserted villages and abandoned temples. Utgarde Keep was long thought to be abandoned, a relic of a lost civilization among the central cliffs of the howling fjord. Yet in recent days, something has roused the fortress' slumbering residents, the vrykul. Feared to be allied with the Scourge, the savage race now terrorizes nearby settlements. With ferocious proto-dragons at their command and unparalleled prowess in battle, the vrykul pose a direct threat to horde and alliance campaigns in Northrend. Perhaps the only way to break the will of Utgarde's denizens is to defeat the revered leaders, but any heroes who fail in this task will surely become trophies to line the ancient halls of the vrykul fortress. Due to the settlement of Utgarde, the vrykul have recently returned. Loyal to the slumbering king, Imiron, rumors abound that they serve the Lich King. They are savage in nature and tie into the Titan creation myth that is slowly unfolding as events of the expansion take place. These formidable warriors have begun attacking Horde and Alliance settlements, and many of the vrykul are pouring out of the fortress of Utgarde Keep, not far from Valgarde. During the war against the Lich King, King Imiron had his throne in Utgarde Keep. The vrykul's alliance with the Scourge meant that the Lich King sent an ambassador, Prince Kaleseth, to reside at Utgarde. He oversaw Scourge operations in Howling Fjord and made himself a general pain in the rear around the region, working with the Yggvar the Plunderer to organize raids. Adventurers eventually killed him, but he was later resurrected. Imiron's ultimate reward was to be made undead and then to get killed again by adventurers at the pinnacle of his own keep. Onyxia's lair. Onyxia built the lair. The entrance to the lair was carved to look like the mob of the Brood Mother herself, with its inner pathway being magma-lined and the ground cracked, glowing with fire from beneath. The arcing stone ceiling groans and shifts, creating constant rockfalls. The walls Deathwing and sister of the seeming Nefarian, Lord of Blackrock Spire. Whereas her father favors brute force and her brother creates twisted abominations to carry out his will, Onyxia prefers subtle manipulation and delights in meddling in the political affairs of mortals, using her charm and power to influence such delicate matters between the different races to her own ends. Some believe that Onyxia has even assumed an alias once used by her father, the title of the royal house Prestor. Most recently, she very nearly succeeded in destroying the political structure of Stormwind in the guise of Katrana Prestor, before being unmasked by Marshal Windsor and fleeing to her lair, a fiery cave below the Dragonmurk, a dismal swamp located within Taswallow Marsh. There she is guarded by her kin, the remaining members of the insidious Black Dragonflight. King Varian Rim and a group of Alliance heroes were able to assault her lair and attack Onyxia. She spewed her magma from the air above and sent her many whelplings at the heroes on the ground. Onyxia was decapitated by Varian himself, and her head was brought back to Stormwind City to be hung from the gates. After her death, Brawl Bearmantle summoned roots from the ground to seal the lair's entrance and to kill her unhatched progeny. Vault of Archavon. Overlooking the frozen plains of the Great Dragonblight and the hospitable wastes of Borean Tundra lies a region known to the denizens of Northrend as Wintergrasp. Seated atop a high plateau, Wintergrasp has remained undisturbed for ages, its icy winds howling unheard amongst the ancient Titan fortifications that dot the landscape. The fortress, with its domed watchtowers, guards the entrance to the Vault of Archavon, which contains Titan relics of untold power, protected by ancient giants. It is their task to protect the artifacts, and they are bitter about the intrusion by both sides. However, an abundance of elemental materials and its strategically important Titan fortifications are making Wintergrasp the focus of a vicious tug-of-war between the Horde and the Alliance. And then there are the persistent rumors of an ancient Titan vault beneath Wintergrasp's keep. One can only marvel at the thought of what treasures may be waiting there. During his journey to collect information and find a way to defeat the old gods, Rathion came to the vault to find answers. However, although there was a lot of material to study, the giants who made it their home were less than cordial when he arrived, still furious after their previous encounters with the adventurers from both factions. Eye of Eternity. From within the safety of his personal domain, the Eye of Eternity, Malicos coordinates a crusade to re-establish his dominance over the arcane energies coursing through Azeroth. In his eyes, the foolish actions of the Kirin Tor and other mortal magi have plunged the world into chaos, and the abuse of their powers will no longer be tolerated. Threatened by the Spellweaver's brutal tactics, the Kirin Tor has allied itself with the Red Dragonflight. Together, the two groups closely observe Malicos searching for a way to thwart his campaign and strike out at the aspect of magic, but thus far the elusive Spellweaver has proven difficult to engage. At Wyrmer's Temple, the ancient meeting ground of the Dragonflights, Alexstrasza and the ambassadors of other flights have discussed Malicos' recklessness and reluctantly concluded that he is beyond to the point of salvation. With the Red Dragon's assistance, Azeroth heroes may be able to accomplish what has formerly been unthinkable, challenging the Spellweaver from inside the Eye of Eternity. Sustaining the safety of Azeroth depends on Malicos' defeat, but his end will also herald a new age, a world of unguarded magic, absent of the dragon aspect powerful enough to watch over. As Blackmore mounted Arygos, however, he plunged his sword into the back of the dragon's skull, killing it. The Twilight Father used Arygos' blood to activate the focusing iris and siphon the magic from the Nexus into the massive chromatic dragon, Chromatus, bringing it to life. Eye of Eternity, Deathwing's Fall. The focusing iris was needed once more in the Dragon Soul instance, where the Twilight's Hammer set several of their most powerful summons under the leadership of Mob Hagara, the Stormbinder, to ambush the heroes at the Eye. Eye of Eternity, Legion. Serving the Burning Legion, Archmage Silem came here where he could use the focusing iris to wreak untold havoc on Azeroth's ley lines and siphon their energy directly into himself. Drained of magic, Azeroth would be ripe for destruction by his demon masters, and his power would become limitless. Ulduar. Ulduar is the biggest Titanforged complex on Azeroth. Perfectly preserved in the snows of the Storm Peaks, it was once thought to house fabled treasures and relics, along with its great engines of creations. In reality, it was conceived first and foremost as a prison for the old god Yogg-Saron. It notably encompasses the Halls of Stone, the Temple of Wisdom, the Halls of Lightning, and the prison of the old god Yogg-Saron. The Halls of Valor were a section of Ulduar until Helia ripped and stationed them in the misty heavens above Azeroth. Ulduar Ancient History. After the Proto-Dragons defeated Galakrond, the Keepers saw them worthy to be the protectors of Azeroth and wished to call upon the mighty Titans to bless them for that purpose. However, Odin, Prime Designate and ruler of the Keepers, resented this idea. Within the halls of Ulduar, Odin secured one of the sections to be the headquarters for his new army. He summoned the Titanforged sorceress, Helia, and with her power she ripped the division of Ulduar and stationed it in the misty heavens above Azeroth. This would be known as the Halls of Valor, home of the mighty Valarjar, and where the greatest warriors of the vrykul are called to serve Odin as their eternal reward for being the worthiest. While Ulduar performed well his prison duty for Yogg-Saron, it did it incompletely, as his black blood runs through the whole continent, crystallizing into Saronite and corrupting all it touches. His whispers even escaped with the Saronite, tempting many to madness, including the Keeper, Loken. Ulduar, Wrath of the Lich King. After thousands of years, Yogg-Saron's chains began to weaken, and the prisoner truly took control of the prison. Under his orders, Loken attacked the city, took its control from the resident earthen, and created iron dwarves and iron vrykul in the Forge of Wheels. These new creations drove the remaining earthen and mecha gnomes from Ulduar, then went out into Northrend to spread destruction. This came near the same time as the war against the Lich King. When the Keeper Thorim discovered the truth about the death of his wife Sif, killed by his treacherous brother Loken, Thorim brought war to Loken with the aid of adventurers serving the Sons of Odir. However, it turned out to have been an elaborate ruse perpetrated by Loken to lure him out of Temple of Storms, where proximity to his Dark Master granted him the power to overcome Thorim's attack. Thorim and his proto-drake Veranus were then captured and taken to Ulduar, so he could be driven mad by Yogg-Saron. Later, adventurers of both the Alliance and the Horde, with some help from Bran Bronzebeard, stopped Loken and defeated Yogg-Saron. Following the defeat of the Lich King, Oryx Troughard spent his time around Ulduar learning about Tyr, as he was the only Titan Keeper who fought Loken during his betrayal. He also found a vrykul saga describing a powerful shield Tyr crafted for his vrykul champion to carry into battle. Ulduar, sacrifice of their keepers. The Iron Vrykul, Frost Giants and Iron Dwarfs have also been integrated into Ulduar's defensive systems. It is also implied that the Ulduar was normally meant to have visitors, with visitor information representatives available for inquiries and curators posted to report if an area was not enterable due to repairs or maintenance. Visitors were even asked to fill out a visitor satisfaction survey before they left. During the Legion's third invasion of Azeroth, a group of demons broke into the facility intending to unearth information that would lead them to the Pillars of Creation. To make matters worse, the whispers of the previously defeated old god Yogg-Saron were heard once more throughout the halls, and groups of Enraki returned to Ulduar for an unknown purpose. The Legion attacked Ulduar a second time to capture Hodir and were fought off by the forces of the Valarjar. An unknown entity time-traveled to Ulduar in order to tamper with and artificially age the Titan locks holding Yogg-Saron in place, releasing the old god 40 millennia early. For Mu of the Bronze Dragonflight came too late to stop this modification of the timeline. Ulduar Battle for Azeroth. At the time of the Fourth War, Ulduar was still undergoing repairs. Bran Bronzebeard and the dwarf adventurer travelled here to recruit Ignis the Furnace Master, who had been revived by the Keepers in order to help reforge the armour of Mandoran Bronzebeard. Ulduar exploring Azeroth. Following the war against the Jailer, the brothers Bronzebeard reported that Ulduar was still being rebuilt since the attack of the Burning Legion. The Earthen and Mega Gnomes have returned, with freed Iron Dwarfs welcomed into their ranks. While Yogg-Saron was indeed defeated, both his corpse still imprisoned and his influence seems contained. His whispers, however, were still heard around Northrend and in the halls of Ulduar. Icecrown Citadel. Icecrown Citadel is the greatest fortress of the Scourge and the last bastion of the dread Lich King. Located in the frozen wastes of Icecrown on the continent of Northrend, the citadel rises up from the Icecrown Glacier, a cathedral of blades and claws made entirely of Saronite. It is a fortress as big as a city, its halls crawling with the most vile and loyal of the Scourge, a great army of the living dead standing between their dark master and those who once sought to destroy him. The fortress itself, layer after protective layer of cursed metal wrapped around the frozen throne that once held the spirit of Ner'zhul, until he joined with Arthas Menethil to become the new Lich King. The sole way for any kind of force to invade Icecrown Citadel would be to breach the gates that encompass Icecrown, respectively named Mordredhar the Death Gate, then Aldorthar the Desolation Gate, and last Corbrethar the Horror Gate. Each gate and its walls is made almost entirely of Saronite, near indestructible and manned by massive Scourge constructs. Icecrown Citadel History. When Kil'jaeden hurled the Lich King into the mortal world, Ner'zhul's prison of ice, known as the Frozen Throne, slammed into the icy spire of Icecrown Glacier. As the Lich King expanded his influence, the Scourge and the Dreadlords built Icecrown Citadel. Arthas Menethil and Illidan Stormrage wrestled for the control of the citadel. As Illidan defeated, Arthas shattered Ner'zhul's prison and merged with the Lich King. Death Knights like Thasarian and Koltira Deathweaver were here training until the Lich King awoke and commanded his subjects to invade the Light's Hope Chapel. At the start of the war against the Lich King, Drag High Mountain defended Taungale village in Borean Tundra from an Anub'ar attack. The undead Tauren fell into their tunnels and continued through them, emerging in Icecrown with with the Icecrown Citadel looming above him. Fighting his way through the skirts, he soon entered it and clashed with the Lich King. As he was trying to control him, the Lich King blasted Drag out of the citadel. Icecrown Citadel, Wrath of the Lich King. An assault on the mighty citadel is among the most dangerous undertakings in the history of Azeroth, and the most pivotal. The legendary heroes High Lord Tyrion Fortring of the Ancient Crusade and High Lord Tarion Mograine have joined forces to lead the charge through Icecrown's fortified gates, and both the Horde and the Alliance have sacrificed lives, indeed whole battalions, to get this far. During the final assault on the citadel, the Ancient Crusade were the ones who breached its gates. They sacrificed much and without question to see the Lich King fall. Icecrown Citadel, Shadowlands. During the course of the Fourth War, the Four Horsemen brought corpses from across Azeroth to the Lich King. They were interred in the frigid storerooms beneath the citadel. When Sylvanas Windrunner abdicated her command of the Horde, the Lich King began to raise them into undeath as Death Knights. Although Bolvar sent the Death Knights away, he recalled other mindless scourge towards the citadel. After the defeat of the Lich King at Sylvanas' hands, as announced by King Terenas years earlier, the now masterless scourge began marauding all across Azeroth. Off the heels of yet another brutal war, the forces of Azeroth mounted a counterattack and assaulted the source at the Icecrown Citadel. During its encounter in the sepulchre of the first ones, Soval the Jailer activated the Forge of Souls below Icecrown to draw the life force of the soul of Azeroth into the sepulchre so that it could power the machine of origination, which he could then use to unmake all existence. With the death of Soval, Azeroth was saved and the rift Sylvanas had created in the sky over Icecrown closed. Icecrown Citadel, exploring Azeroth. Following the war against the Jailer, the brothers Bronzebeard passed by the citadel only briefly. However, this matched Saronite in one place had Magni Bronzebeard looking like he might be sick, despite his body being entirely composed of diamond. They also reported that the fortress is still growing with undead. These were the frozen legacies of the Wrath of the Lich King, where the brave earned more than victory. They claimed mounts bound to legend. But the tide of fate marches ever forward, and soon Azeroth will break. In our next chapter, we descend into the chaotic fires of Cataclysm, where Deathwing's fury reshaped the world and brought with it new challenges, new battles, and yes, new bounties to claim. Until then, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss the flames of what comes next. And as always, good evening.